we are remembering someone very special, a campaigner and a big friend of this show, Kris Hallenga, who died earlier this year. She was only 38, but she was diagnosed with incurable stage 4 breast cancer when she was just 23 years old. Now, her life is the subject of a new documentary that airs tonight. It highlights her unique philosophy on living with terminal cancer and the impact she made on all of us. She was special. Kris's twin sister, Maren, joins me now. It's a beautiful documentary. It really is, but a hard watch for you, I would have thought.
Yeah, it is. But it's powerful and it has to pack a punch. My sister, that was her philosophy, you know, she wanted to make a huge impact in the time that she had, and she did, and I think this film is exactly her.
I mean, I remember talking to both of you when she was diagnosed, and as we said, in her early 20s, and you know, they missed a lot because obviously because she was so young. But there was that determination for this not to happen to anyone else, which is why CoppaFeel came about. And I guess you'll never know how many lives were saved and changed.
No, I mean, it's countless, and people are still so affected by what Copperfield does now. It's huge, but at the time when she was diagnosed, there was nothing. Speaking to young people, she wanted sort of to change the face of this disease and to normalise talking about our bodies and our chests, and she had such a unique way of doing that. But she brought so many people into her life, and it still continues today.
Of course it does. The legacy is astonishing. It really is. But there was so much more to your sister than just someone who is living with breast cancer and campaigning. That was an enormous part of her life. Of course it was. But what I liked about the documentary was we got to know her.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, she had it for 15 years.
Yes.
So she achieved a lot in that time. And yes, Copperfield is a huge part of that. But, you know, she wrote a book, and that was such a huge achievement for her. And I think, you know, it's so much she gave so much of herself. She achieved a lot. But to me, she was obviously more than, you know, a breast cancer campaigner.
Of course, because we see in the documentary, we see you as young kids together. You know, we see that.
I don't know a life beyond being a twin, and like.
Oh, look! Oh, how cute! You're so lovely and so close. Of course you are. You're a twin, so there's that bond that is unlike any other, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I truly appreciated or understood how much I needed her. I think she felt the same. Yeah, of course. You know,
it's like two halves of the whole, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
We depended so much on each other. We had this very strong codependency. But and she just helped me through so much. She always made things okay.
Yeah.
She wasn't, you know, she was annoying at times too, obviously.
Listen, she was no saint. Nobody is. And, you know, but, I mean, she was a proper person, you know, with good points, bad points, all of these things, all these things that make us a human being. That's the thing.
I think Fern says in the film, like, she was almost otherworldly. And I love that because she's so unique, and she just had this approach to life that people were so swept up by this. She just oozed life, and everything about her was just, you just wanted to be magnetised to her. Like,
it feels weird talking about her in the past tense, don't you think? That it does, but when someone is so larger than life, and somebody is so, and for you, you know, there she is, your other half, in a sense, must be very hard. Yeah, it is. It's tough. You mentioned the book.
Yes.
The title of the book.
Yes.
Is a cracker.
Glittering a turd.
Glittering a turd.
And
she did.
She did.
Oh, she did.
Was the queen of glittering a turd. And that was actually quite funny, because when she died, I had to decide how on her death certificate, you have to write an occupation, and it's like, how do you sum that up?
And it's probably a tiny wee thing as well. You know, you would need about 4 sheets of paper to describe all the things that she's done.
And I think because turd glittering really does sum up what she did. Like, she did glitter a massive turd, but in so many turds, and she glittered the turds of other people. You know, she was. You know that, and so
I'm laughing, but it's so hard.
And that's what I posed to the registrar, but that was not okay. So we had to.
You couldn't do that.
So obviously she was the founder of an amazing charity called CoppaFeel. She was an author. She was a campaigner, but she was also an advocate of health and life.
Yes, and living your life to the full.
Yeah.
Love the fact that she had a funeral, not a funeral.
Yeah.
So before she died, she had basically a massive party.
Yeah.
And I mean, to just be even better than you would think, you've got Dawn French sort of officiating the funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. But she said, I don't think I can do it if she says no.
And why would she?
And I just remember she left me this voice note after she'd come off the phone to Dawn, and you could just, you could just feel the happiness and the joy that she felt. And it just, so from then on, it had to happen. And she, at the point at which she did it, she was so full of life. She was so well that day. And I was terrified, I think, of that day. And obviously I gave a speech and I just felt so nervous about it. But that morning she said to me, focus on the fun, focus on the fun.
Always.
And I think that's what sort of keeps me going. And times like this too, she'd want me to sit here today talking about her and talking about this film. And,
I know.
And it's like, it's so hard. It's so hard.
Love.
But she'd be here talking about it.
It feels weird. And to be honest, I keep expecting her to come in. That's the strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That will never go away for you, you know. But she'd be awful proud of you sitting here today, because I know how hard it is for you. I really do. And the thing is, it's all of these different connections that there are. I mean, Tom, come and sit down. Tom Fletcher's here, as we know.
Good morning.
And there's all these different connections.
Yeah.
Because obviously, your Giovanna was such a massive, when I say fan of Copperfield, supporter of Copperfield, wasn't she?
Yeah, and still is. The treks that they do are amazing, and so important. I've been on one of them, and it was absolutely incredible. And the people that are on it, and the stories that are shared. But they literally save lives, as we've seen with one of our best friends, Amy Dowden. She only discovered her own breast cancer through going on the trek with Copperfield.
See, that's incredible. If she hadn't danced with you on Strictly and then met Giovanna and become friends, I know you're still friends to this day, and then Giovanna telling her about Copperfield, she goes on the trek and then finds, she's aware and finds something wrong and then catches it early enough that she's dancing again in Strictly. I mean, it's brilliant.
I know, it is amazing, and that's how important those treks are.
It's wonderful.
And I think Kris always hated being called inspirational, but this is her legacy, is the lives that she's saving and changing, and Copperfield continues to do that year after year.
Oh, yeah.
And those treks are so important.
And the work continues, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does, Maren.
I mean,
it continues.
Yeah, completely, because the problem hasn't gone away.
No.
People are still dying from this disease unnecessarily.
Exactly.
And we've got, more audiences to reach.
Because you're having the exhibition, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I know there was this sort of appetite to mark her life.
Yes.
And being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we felt it had to be in October. So at the end of this month, on the 26th and 27th October, we're doing an exhibition, and it's called Kris, and it's in East London. And it sort of shows the journey of Copperfield, how, we started with nothing. But we had passion, and we had this humongous appetite for, making a change. So it will show all of that, and it'll be such a feast for your eyes. And it's free, and we'd love everyone to come and learn about her.
Well, the world is a sadder place, that's for sure. But as we said, the legacy is amazing and living every second. It's the Kris Hallenga story. It's on 9 o'clock tonight on BBC Two. I would urge you to watch it. It's a life well lived, but just not long enough, thank you very much. But
a few more years would have
I think she lived so many lives in, 38 years. Thank you very much. Great to see you. Keep in touch. Keep in touch and let us know how you're doing.